Hello and welcome to No Pun Included Dungeons and Dragons live stream. I am your Dungeon Master Efka, and today with me we have a full cast, starting with
Elaine.
Emma!
Is it me? Do I go next? It's
Yes.
me. I'm Paul. I go next. Hello.
And I guess that leaves me. I'm Ross. Hello.
Thank you everyone for joining us, those who are watching live and those who are watching on YouTube. We have a couple of donation shoutouts that happened in between the streams, so thank you to Brock Wager and Sophie Tuff for donating to our cast. If you would like to donate as well, there's a link down below, whether you're watching it on Twitch or on YouTube, and all donations go directly to support our cast and their time. I did want to address that we were not streaming last week. That's because there were a lot of important real life events happening, and we felt like it would be prudent to give some space to not just those events, but also to other voices. And aha, something is happening. Hello, that was an adventure. We're back. The cable has been sorted. That was aggressive. As I was saying, there were a lot of important real life events happening, and we felt like it would be important to give those events space and also to show some support to the Black Lives Matter movement. Having said all of that, let's go and play some D&D, right?
Right.
Previously on Waterdeep Dragon Heist. After a raucous bar brawl, our companions set off on a mission to find Wolotham Gedam's missing friend, Floon Blagmar. On their way to the dock ward, they were interrupted by Maloon War Dragon, who asked them to infiltrate the Jentarim criminal organization. Close to the Skewered Dragon, last known location of Floon, they visited the old Zoblob shop, where they unsuccessfully bartered and upset a strange gnome whose name might or might not be Zoblob. And they did find out that Floon and another person who's likely to be Renner Neverember were accosted by Jentarim thugs. Information that was later corroborated by the Skewered Dragon patrons. The search took them to a warehouse where the companions were ambushed by 3 Kenku bandits, a fight that nearly proved lethal if it wasn't for Gina's thunderous blast of magic that was instrumental in saving the day. Licking their wounds and helping those still unconscious, our heroes must collect whatever information before the city guard inevitably arrives.
Okay.
Inevitably, huh?
I mean, you have set off a large, thunderous blast. It's only a matter of time. I would say that all your intelligence scores indicate that you would realize this simple matter of reality.
I don't feel like Rogue. It's not a top priority for Rogue, and I think imminent death was more on his mind than
That's on my agenda right now as well.
than the loud sound.
Well, I mean, you were technically unconscious, and 2 of you are probably not even aware of the large thunderous sound, or maybe if you are aware, then you're sort of semi-aware in that sort of way where you wake up and like, I heard something. But yeah, you are still unconscious, and the 2 of you that are alive, what would you like to do to help your companions? Don't forget, you're in a warehouse, you're surrounded by sort of debris from the thunderous blast, and you're also quite, I imagine, quite distraught and...
Yes.
There's
I
not...
want to...
Yeah, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
No, go on, Emma.
I want to make sure the others are still alive and well.
I'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, one of the things you can do is to stabilize them. You can perform a medicine check.
Yes, I can do that.
Mm.
I hope I can do that. That's better. Oof. 9.
9. Okay. So I mean, I'll say that this was probably not a complicated check because the fight is over. Normally, when a fight is over, in terms of D&D rules, I don't think there's a lot of as long as you all escaped unscathed, that is fine with me. And whilst it doesn't improve the situation in any way, you eventually, after a couple of minutes of being, come to and get up and dust yourself off and remain barely alive on 1 hit point.
I want to make sure they know we need to get going now.
Can all of you give me a perception check?
Ooh, okay.
All right.
Sorry for that noise.
21.
11.
Natural 20.
And what's your perception?
0.
0. Okay, so you got.
I've got a 1, but it's +3, so it's 4.
Oh
You're
well,
bringing people back to life. So
Well,
that's
Gina,
That's
you were.
important.
You are somewhat preoccupied, so you're not really paying too much attention. And Rogan isn't really. I mean, you've just been knocked out. It's still ringing in your ears, and
Rogan's not very perceptive anyway. Let's be honest.
but the Marche and Aris, you hear like faintly somewhere in the distance in the warehouse a sort of a tumble and a crash. But when I say crash, I don't mean like a loud crash. Like something somewhere fell down, and you hear a very faint "damn it."
Seems like we're still not alone.
Yes, and as you point your eyes in the direction of that sound, you notice a little storeroom with a door. But something catches. There's a glint in your eyes, and something catches your attention. Just to the side of that storeroom, on one of the warehouse walls, you realize that there looks like there's a seam in the wall, strangely looking like it is in the shape of a door. It's a very well masqueraded seam. But you're like, I think there's something there.
I think there's something there.
This is absolutely something we should probably peep at before we go. Especially because it looks like people don't want this peeped.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Let's go.
Okay, so are you investigating where the sound came from, or are you investigating that
The door.
the door? Okay.
I don't want to deal anymore with anyone. Honestly, this has been enough. I would just like to see what this door is about.
Well, okay, so you as you approach it, you clearly notice that there's like there's a wooden door basically, but because of the way that it was built, imagine like a wooden wall, right? And someone clearly just made the cutout after they built the wall to look like the wood was seamless, right? And it's quite close together. But as you push down on that door, which isn't like locked or anything like that, you hear a little tinkle of a bell, but not where you opened it, like somewhere upstairs. Because remember, there's like a mezzanine level. And what you find behind the door is clearly like a secret stash room.
Oh.
I know, right? And the secret stash room is full of goodies. There are 2 wooden crates. As you pry a latch open, you notice that one of them is filled with significantly well artistically crafted landscape paintings of various
Aris, look at this.
various famous locations like Luskan, Neverwinter, Silvery Moon, and Baldur's Gate.
I recognize this art. It's beautiful. I had such art on my walls back at home. How I miss it. Perhaps I could put one of these up. Wouldn't this look marvelous?
Folks, we have no time for landscape paintings right here.
But
That
you can
glass
see the
No.
brush strokes and the
No.
glorious.
Shut up.
Oh.
This is super. This warehouse belongs to like the Zentarum.
Zentarum, yes. Yeah.
Zentarum.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a snake
Marche,
on the front.
if you want a painting, I'll buy you a painting after we get out of here.
I don't know if we should start taking these things, but it's worth knowing about this. I'm pretty sure I heard a voice as well somewhere.
Oh.
Then maybe we
what did
should
it-
check that out. Maybe it's Floon.
Well,
What did it say?
just before you continue, there's also a second crate, and within that crate there are a total of 15 silver bars.
Ooh.
And I don't mean silver coins. I mean silver, like melted, you know, into
like a
a
Toblerone.
yeah, like a silver Toblerones,
I love
effectively.
Toblerone. I would like to search the crow people who attacked us. I would like to take a few moments to do that and rifle through, and I'm mainly looking for if they have any paperwork or correspondence on them. I'm not trying to like run off with their purses or anything like that, but anything that stands out that
That's smart.
If you could let me know when you finish, I'd quite like to kick one of them.
Yeah, one of them. You
One of his stuff is still not dead.
yeah, one of them is.
Oh yeah.
One of them had, I believe, their heads chopped off. The other
Yeah.
one was impaled on a wooden beam by a thunderous blast, and a third one was left unconscious. Paul, by the way, I have just sent you a secret message. So yeah, if you could check that, that is something I would like for you to read. Otherwise, some of you also wanted to investigate where that sound was coming from, and
Sorry, I just like to take a second to enjoy Paul's poker face.
yeah, shut up.
I barely knew he got a secret message at all there. I could hardly see it.
It's
Carry
fine,
on,
don't worry
sorry.
about it.
Does any of the bodies that's in the pile in the middle of the room, because there were a lot of bodies, right? Match the description of Floon.
no, none of them match the description of Floon. They all look like they're dressed either. They all look like bandits. You know, they're dressed in leather armor. They've got plenty of weapons. None of them have red flowing hair.
Any of them got any shields by any chance?
No, none of them are carrying shields. None of them look like they could afford a shield. They all look like they're, you know, they could scrape by a dagger, maybe a rapier.
I wouldn't want any of their possessions then, judging by that description of them.
So, which
yeah,
one of you wants to deal with the Kenkus? Which one of you wants to deal with the sound coming from
Tinkly
the?
bell or the
No, from the
ruckus?
back room. Yeah, the ruckus.
I wouldn't mind searching the Kenku myself because I am still a teetering guy who doesn't feel very well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a particularly tough person, and I've just.
I'm
come down
I'm
to,
happy to assist someone if they want to go check out the sound. I'm pretty wobbly myself.
Someone
Well,
needs to stay
But
with
I'm all, yeah. Oh, go on. Sorry.
with the unconscious one, so he doesn't wake up and run off.
Can't we
Or
just
kill
tie him
us
up
in
or
the back.
something?
Yeah.
Well, Gina, do you want to go? Sorry, Gina, do you want to go? Do you want to go check out the sound, and me and Aris will have a word with this. Aris can search the bodies, and I'll have a word with this semi-conscious chap.
Sure. Maybe Marche and I could do it together.
I'd be delighted. It's so charming the way you ask. It's so lovely.
Let's go. We have got no time. We need to
Okay,
hurry up.
so
She is right.
yeah, time is definitely of the essence. So those of you who are searching the Kenku, you find nothing of any particular significance. You know, like it's wearing a tattered robe. It's got a dagger. Some of you are intimately familiar with that dagger. But you know, you notice that it's starting to come to, and like, you know, it's not fully awake yet, but there is a semblance of a spark of consciousness.
Is there any way? Is there anything around that we could restrain it with? Like keep
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of like scraps of rope and everything. This is a warehouse. Yeah, plenty of stuff.
Okay. Well, in that case, I think like I would prefer to like it's coming to, but like maybe tie it to a pillar or something so it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I'll let you tie them. You don't need to make a roll because the Kenku's still like not really fully conscious and doesn't really resist. But once you finish tying it up, by then it's sort of already lucid, you know, and it squawks. Ah! There's feathers everywhere. It's very unhappy, and it's coming up with choice descriptions of you that don't seem to make any sense, you know, screaming things like murderous bastards or well, yes, you.
Perhaps
You
can
decapitate
offer to
one
work.
person. You decapitate one person, and all of a sudden, that's all people know about you.
We have
What-
a reputation
What would you like to do with it?
with it.
Have you got any ideas, Aris?
I'm super. Right. First of all, I'm thinking this maybe doesn't look great because we did sort of come into a place that we don't own and it kind of killed some people that were here. This thought number one. Number two, maybe they weren't supposed to be here either. Thought number three, there's interesting stuff in the room, but I guess it is like their stuff and it is their property and they're allowed to keep whatever they want in there. So synthesizing these different bits of information, I think it looks quite bad that we sort of came in here and killed people.
So, are you saying we should kill this person and then leave?
No. We should leave. I feel like we should leave, probably quickly. But there's a lot. Maybe we should take this guy with us because if other people turn up and then he like tries to, he has an interpretation of events that's different to ours, and he passes that on to the authorities, and the authorities, being the authorities, will authorize things in a way that they
So you think, I'm a respectable-looking individual,
absolutely.
and my family name surely would I'd be able to get us out of trouble just merely by sharing my family name with the local constabulary.
Or we don't want to tarnish your family name in any way. Maybe.
Okay, yeah, okay. No, you make a fair point.
So,
Speaking of family names, some of you are dealing with the Kemku, some of the other ones of you are going to investigate that storeroom. As you open the door, you find mostly just piles of salted fish, and it doesn't smell good. There's a crate.
Oh.
The crate full of sandals.
Ooh.
That look terribly out of fashion.
Oh. This is
like-
a roller coaster of emotion. Fish, and then it smells horrid, and sandals, but they're terrible, and
they were all the rage last year, but like
Oh.
you wouldn't be caught.
perhaps I can
Wearing
bring them
them.
back. If I take some and sell them from a large price, maybe I can make them fashionable again.
As you're examining the sandals, blindly oblivious to the person that's hiding behind the crate, eventually that person just goes, "Oh, what the heck? You don't seem like you're bandits," and stands up. Says, "Hello, are you here to rescue me?"
Hello. Would you
What
care
does he
to-
look like?
to buy a pair of sandals?
He looks sandals. No,
I have a selection here.
No, you just found them here. I've been in this room
Oh.
for quite a long
Well,
time,
Forget them then.
waiting for the bandits to leave, hoping someone would come in and rescue me, and you're offering me sandals that are here.
Well, I didn't have to offer
Can
you
I
anything
step
at
in
all.
here and just hi, sorry. What does the guy look like? Does it look like Floon?
A little bit. He sort of matches the description, although judged by his garb, Floon would have to, even though you've been described, Floon has been described to you as having quite fancy clothes. This is like real finery, you know, proper silk robe and a very fancy shirt and a feather and a hat and everything, you know. Yeah. This is
proper fancy.
Proper fancy,
Feather and a hat.
Yeah, but he does
As
have
fancy as it gets.
I know,
Better
right?
than that.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
pull
yeah.
out Ferrero Rocher and that's it. Like,
Yeah. Yes, Gina, what would you like to do?
I want to ask, like, what's your name?
Oh, hello, my name is... Oh, I'm not sure I should be saying. My name is Renner Neverember, and I am pleased to meet you.
Hi, we were actually looking for Floon, but we heard you might have seen him last.
Yes, Floon... I'm afraid of what's happened to Floon. Sadly, when these thugs accosted us, Floon did the noble sacrifice of pretending to be me. And since the idiots couldn't put two and two together, they have mistakenly taken him away to what I heard were the sewers. So I think he might be in a lot of trouble, and I think he might need some rescuing.
Why were they after you?
Well, the Gentarum think that my father embezzled a large amount of gold while he was the open lord of Waterdeep. And he says that not with, like, as in to big up his name, but there's a certain amount of disdain in his voice anytime he mentions his father, really. They think that they can find it by using an artifact called the Stone of Galore, which was in the hands of the Xanathar Guild until recently. Apparently, someone stole it, and the gents thought I knew something about it, but I don't. I haven't spoken to my father in years, and then the gents were attacked by the thugs from the Xanathar Guild. That's why they're all dead. He points to the floor. I hid in this storeroom, hoping that as the fight broke out, no one would notice me. And I was pretty sure I was done for, because after some of the other bandits have left with Floon, the Kenkus were just about to discover me in this little hideaway. Thankfully, you have dispatched them.
That was quite the challenge, but let's get you out of here. Come with us, because we need to go, because I don't know if you heard that loud noise, and I think the guards will be here any minute.
Speaking of the guards being here any minute, the warehouse door blasts open. In steps in a what looks probably like the captain of the city watch. You know, he's dressed in just slightly fancier armor, and behind him, like he has a full plate armor set, and behind him there's about at least like a dozen very well. I don't know what's the right word.
Tooled up.
Yeah, they look very professional, you know, as they sort of come in, like they come in a line. They look like they know what they're doing, you know, but there's about a dozen other city guards with him. And as the captain goes in, he looks around, does a spit take, and says, "Right, what's going on here?"
So does he see the Kenku that's tied up?
Yeah, he sees the Kenku that's tied up. He surveys the scenery. He sort of took a moment, paused, looked around, you know, and there's a whole bunch of guards. They're all armed. They all have short swords.
So
Did they see
Rogan,
us, or?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rogan's gonna turn to everyone else and be like, "It's all right, everyone. I'll have a word with him."
Oh God.
So Rogan will gather himself up and confidently walk over to explain to this individual what's transpired here.
This can only go well.
Sorry, could you stop right there and don't advance any further and please put your weapon down?
Oh, sure, no, of course, no, yeah. I just thought we could have a conversation about what these low-level bandits how did they attempted to murder us as we were passing by this particular warehouse. They tried to drag us in here and do away with us. They saw my fine clothes and we were out much too late in this dangerous neighborhood, and they tried to rob us.
Sorry, you mean to say that the bandits in a known bandit warehouse tried to rob you?
I mean, I'm a little bit, you may not have gathered, I do seem like I fit in everywhere, but I'm not really from around this part of town. My friends here were guiding me to a local establishment, and I suppose it's my fault. We got accosted. I was showing too much material wealth. Obviously, they saw me, saw how, beautiful and wealthy I appeared to be, and thought they could take advantage of the situation, and they were sadly mistaken.
Okay, so you're clearly lying to him. So I would like for you to make a deception check, please.
Shit. Come on, dice. That's a 9.
That's a 9. He munches it over for a second.
No.
Eyes you a little bit more. Says, I think I'm gonna have to take you in.
Oh.
And just as he says that, you hear the voice of Renner going, Captain Staggett, hold on just 1 second. I'm afraid you have the situation somewhat a little bit confused. And as the now named Captain Staggett sees Renner Neverember, he immediately sort of almost like drops his sword and then goes, huh, like that, and straightens out a little bit, dusts himself off. I'm sorry, Lord Neverember, I didn't realize that these were your these are your friends. I didn't realize that these were your friends. Could you please explain the situation to me, because I must be at a disadvantage. He's very shook and, clearly trying to appear, prim and proper, like a good captain. And Brenner says, no worries, Captain Staggett. You see, these bandits, they had me captured. They wanted to take me away to their hideout, and if it wasn't for these brave adventuring souls, it would be possible I might not be even alive right now.
Yeah, that's what, when I said we got accosted, I meant we heard someone accosted and intervened. And sorry, I'm not from around these parts. I don't know your city ways.
My colleague, as you can see, is very badly injured as a result of the very thorough accosting. It was a thorough accosting. I don't think I've ever been so thoroughly accosted. And after this amount of accostement, where I don't feel great, perhaps, Captain, you could, Captain Staggett, you could. Is there somewhere we could recover? Maybe we should come back with you to the station and explain to you everything that's happened and get to the bottom of. But my colleagues, my new friend is correct that we completely 100% saved him.
There's no need for that. It's fine. If you are friends of Lord Renner Neverember, then there's no need to arrest you. Just make sure that you keep the fighting off the streets, and not all City Watch are going to be as nice as me. So,
would you like a Kenku? We just have a spare one.
Do you mean that bandit over there?
I mean, I don't. What's the what usually what would you do in this situation?
I
What's
would
the
arrest
standard-
them. We will arrest the
Yeah.
bandits. Do not worry. We will take care of them. We've been taking
not
care of this
these,
mess for
'cause-
weeks now.
Okay, these you don't have to arrest these because they're dead. Just so you know, that one up there.
He's not amused, but
I think at that point, while he was saying that, I probably would have put my battle axe slightly behind my back whilst he was talking about them being dead.
yeah, he's not amused, but he basically tells you to shove off and get your things together and leave as quickly as possible. This is a police investigation, and you have no business being here.
It must be pretty late. I can hear cats howling like outside.
Yeah. I think that's Emma's cat.
Oh, I thought it was the sound effect you added.
No.
Okay.
No.
I say, Mr. Taggart.
Staggered.
Yes. Sorry, my friend confused me. I say, your shoes there are looking a little worse for wear. But perhaps I can offer you some
I
interest
poke one
in
cheek.
these in these sandals. They're beautiful sandals. Look at them.
Are you insulting my shoes?
No. But perhaps you would like something a little more summery.
Make a charisma
Those-
check.
And people say
You have disadvantage on this because of the ludicrousness of the situation.
Those boots there look like something you would sit round a fire drinking cacao. That you need something more you. Oh, I got a 2. What am I doing? What check? Sorry, a what check?
Charisma.
It doesn't really matter, does it?
Oh my god.
Charisma. It's a
Gonna end up
4,
in
a
jail
4.
for
I got
trying
a
to sell
4.
footwear.
I mean, the scene ends with you being physically booted out of the warehouse.
Okay.
Why
does no one want these sandals? They're lovely.
They're bad.
Before we get booted out, I want to turn to Runner and ask if he could join us so we could talk more about
Oh yeah, he's definitely coming out with you. He is. He says, "Let me accompany you back to. Where are we going?
I guess the Yawning portal?
Ah,
Oh.
yes, fine
Or
establishment.
anywhere closer, anywhere you recommend nearby
Yeah.
that is.
We could go to the Skewered Dragon. Oh wait, no. Let's not go to the Skewered Dragon. He says.
Maybe
Why?
not.
Because that's where they captured me.
I think maybe we should head back to the Yawning Portal. It has been a pretty trying day.
Well, the night is late, and it's quite dark. The streets are not well lit, and there are no more dray carriages. So the walk is definitely long and chilly, and whatever bits you had battered and bruised and cut are definitely aching as you're hobbling along the streets of the dock ward.
A long walk is enough time to chat with him, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, Renna, where are you? Where are you from exactly?
Well, seeing as my father was Lord Dagult Neverember, the Open Lord of Waterdeep, I would say that I would most closely identify with Waterdeep.
Don't give him the ike as well. Like, don't upset him.
So Renner, from
We
from,
need him
from
on our side.
one very important person to another. What do you think? What's going to happen to Floon? What do you think they're going to do with him?
Well, I think they're probably going to torture him and kill him.
Oh.
I think they think that he is Renner Neverember. And I think that they think that he knows where the Stone of Galore is. Unfortunately for them, Renner Neverember doesn't know where the Stone of Galore is. And also, he's not Renner Neverember, he's Floon Blagmaw. Somewhat less attractive, but still not Renner Neverember.
Does Renner or Neverender know where the stone is? You, I mean.
No, as I mentioned, I have no idea. My father, he was not a good man. He was not a good open lord. Maybe that's why he's not the open lord of Waterdeep anymore. And I have not seen him in forever and have nothing to do with him. Sometimes I'm blessed to have a noble heritage, but at the same time, that name is a curse.
Perhaps you should change it.
But then what would I do? No, he says.
Perhaps you could sell sandals.
Oh yeah, because that worked out really well for you.
Well, no, not so much.
Look. Friends.
You're very lovely, and apologies, Aris. I just wanted to ask if you know these sewers at all, where he might be.
Well, I overheard the Kenkus talking, and well, I say talking. They mostly just mimic other phrases that's been said, and I heard them say, "Follow the yellow signs."
Yellow signs. Oh.
And they definitely mentioned the sewers. I suppose.
Yellow signs, I get it.
I suppose after a good night's rest, we could find those sewers back in the dock wards and investigate them together.
Yes, perhaps we can. Eris, sorry, you had a question or something you wanted to talk about.
It was going to be broadly similar.
Oh, I was useful for once. Hooray!
Yeah, if this gentleman knows the sewers well enough, that seems like our logical next step in trying to find this person and extricate him from the trouble that he, by the sounds of it, didn't mean to get in at all.
Lord Renner, are you partial to sponsoring this excursion to rescue your friend? I feel like we could possibly do with some new equipment to better reinforce us for our future travels.
I mean, I am nobility, but I'm not made out of money. I suppose in some ways...
Sorry, 1 second. Did we just save your life? I can't quite remember.
Well, yes. But, look, I haven't really... Okay, so here's my offer. Whilst I can't really exactly reinforce this expedition with monetary kind of... I would appreciate any help. Why were you looking for me to begin with?
Well, so, should we tell him?
Yes.
You were not
Yes,
looking.
yes. He's a friend.
Not him
Yes,
specifically, but
and my colleague's right. We weren't specifically looking for you. Volo, this
Volo!
Volofan.
Oh, my good friend Volo.
said this other chap's gone missing. Could you find him? And this has so far a short chain of events that I feel is somehow going to end up with many more links than we currently have, the way things are going. Led us to the Dragon pub, and then to the warehouse, and then to you, and
So you're saying that Volo sent an expedition to rescue us?
in short, yes.
He is a good man. And
Volo recognized the band of brave travelers when he saw them.
he eyes
Or he
you.
knew what was going on and sent us to a battle.
Well, I guess he did send someone, yes. Well, so here's the thing. I haven't really got anything to I haven't even got look, everything I had on me was stolen, right? Let's be fair. But I am an influential person in this city, and I can make sure that you are introduced to the right people, and potentially there's many more opportunities for work, or helping the right people out. And by the right people, I mean the right people.
Do you know
it's
Sublock?
very kind. Oh, apologies, Gina.
No, you go ahead. I'm just asking.
Oh no,
him
I was
questions.
just saying thank you.
Oh.
Thank you to him for being so kind. just to point us in the right direction. Zoblob, yes.
Yeah, Zoblob.
What about Zoblob, sorry?
Gina asked if he knows Zoblob.
Zoblob? No. What a strange name.
I have a feeling maybe a lot of people in town don't know Zoblob. I've been in town for a little while and I don't know Zoblob, and I probably still don't know Zoblob, and that's fine.
But the shop was across the street, right, from the skewered dragon?
Is it still there?
Yeah, pretty much it was, yeah.
It's still there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, you didn't really go past it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It didn't magically disappear, though.
No, it didn't magically disappear. This was
I
not
imagine he probably just doesn't shop in that neighborhood.
This was not a fever dream. You did go to old Zoblob shop. It was
felt
there.
like a fever dream with all the
It was
purple.
a bit of a fever dream.
Yeah, right.
No, I was just wondering. Sorry.
Lord, while you were, how long were you in the warehouse?
Well, it was some time. It was probably a couple of days. They kept us in there, the Gentarm, for a while. I don't really know why, but yeah, by the time you came to rescue us, you know, the Gentarm were taken out by the Xanathar Guild. Ugh, it's a messy situation.
Is there any way that I can kind of, like, do we feel like he's telling us the whole story?
You can make a perception check.
Like, I'm not, like, is he holding anything back?
Or yeah, what's the most appropriate skill here? I'm see now that I've made the mistake with Streetwise. I'm more confident.
Yeah.
What's in 5th edition? What's not? It's insight. You can make an insight check.
Insight.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's have a go. That is 10, unfortunately.
I mean, as far as you can tell, this is just clearly a very fancily dressed man who's very shook up after being practically incarcerated for a couple of days. He looks hungry, ragged, and from what you can tell, he's not lying.
Would you care for a little nip?
A little
I
nip?
produce like a water skin of
Oh, yes, that would be
ale.
delightful. He just glugs it all the way down.
Well,
And
welcome.
somewhere midway, he realizes that he's not being very polite, and he's...
Oh no, you finish it. You have it.
Oh, thank you very
You need
much.
to sanitize that after. Anyway. I don't say that for him to hear. By the way, that's very much not for him to hear.
You just mutter that to yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you eventually make your way towards the Yawning portal, which is mostly seeing a lot of its evening's clientele leave, and there's a lot of broken furniture that's been swept up by Bonnie, who
Bonnie.
gives you a discount on a room whilst Dernan's not looking, and you've got yourself some rooms, some rest, and a good night's sleep. Consider that you have had a long rest.
Yay.
And you can reset your hit dice, hit point totals, expended spell slots, all that good stuff.
That is extremely welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Great.
What's the room like?
Cheap and Spartan, and there isn't much there. There's a sort of a little wardrobe and a little chest of drawers and a bucket. Well, you need buckets. Everyone needs a good bucket now and then. But yeah, no, it's cheap Spartan. There's some breakfast in the morning, which is smoked quipper, which is quite nice, and a pair of eggs, which is also nice, prepared well. The morning clientele seems to be mostly just the people who stay at the tavern. There's not many because there's better taverns to stay at. This is mostly a tavern where adventurers come to drink and some, watch other adventurers descending into the dungeon below. But mostly just drinking. Yeah.
Okay. Drinking in the morning. Drinking in the morning.
No one's drinking in the morning. Some people are just eating breakfast and stuff.
Okay.
But this is, like I'm saying, this is not a well-populated tavern in
No,
the morning.
sure, okay.
There's not much going on.
Yeah.
It's quite
So
empty.
there's not really anyone of note around
No.
at the minute.
No, not really. Yeah. You meet up together in the morning with Renner Neverember, who says, well, I'm glad to see we're all well rested. Do you folks have some sort of a plan?
Well, that's a great question. Do we want to go on a sewer expedition? Because there's only 4 of us, and we don't know how many of them there are, and it would be...
Well, there's 5 of us, Renner says. I count 5.
There's 5 of us, but, like... I've heard rumors about all sorts of things in the sewers in Waterdeep, and it would be... I think we'd be putting ourselves in a lot of danger. If we do this, we need to be prepared.
I feel like Rogan's probably got his confidence back a little bit after a good night's sleep and forgotten the catastrophe that was yesterday. And I'm feeling quite good about another expedition, another chance for adventure, another way to get our names known around this place. But all right, maybe a little bit of equipment might not go amiss, or a little bit of preparation.
Could you all give me a investigation check, but based on charisma rather than intelligence? Marche, you have advantage on this.
Oh, that's better. Charisma. Yeah?
Yes, charisma, and if you have proficiency in investigation, you can add it.
Yeah. 18.
That's a pretty good score.
It's literally twice as much as me. I got 9.
I
Good quick
snuck
maths.
ahead with a 10.
So it's charisma plus if you have proficiency in investigation.
Yeah, you can add the proficiency bonus.
Then it's a 22.
Ooh, wow. So
2 of us
Gina,
got this.
you've heard about this stuff through tales and songs and folklore about the various sewers of Waterdeep. And Marche, you just sort of...
I'm just smart.
Smart is a term, but also you've lived here all your life, so, you know, you hear things and...
I'm smart.
Yeah, okay. You know that the sewers in Waterdeep are vast and expand throughout the entire city, and you know that there are so many places where secret lairs and hideouts and various dungeons could be found within the sewers network, and generally people don't really know what to expect because going down a sewer could, you know, prove disastrous or could prove, you know, completely fine, but you know that the logical starting point would be somewhere at that warehouse. Renner also mentioned that there were yellow signs, you know, and you remember that anyone at, like, the Kenkus that you've encountered had this sort of patch with a yellow eye as well, so you feel like maybe those two things are related, and you recognize that as the symbol of the Xanathar Guild. That's your good roll pretty much tells you that yellow eye is a symbol of the Xanathar Guild, and that's something you should probably watch out for in the sewers to lead you in the right direction.
Renner, I have a question, if you don't mind. Do you know anything about the paintings and the silver that we saw in the warehouse? I wondered if you heard anything or saw anything, because you'd been there a couple of days.
Silver and paintings?
I mean, yes. Well, ignore it. Forget it. It was something we stumbled at. Like the sandals. It wasn't as good as the sandals, but there was other stuff in there.
There was silver and paintings, and you didn't take it.
Well, no.
Why
I didn't
you
take the sandals either. What do you do?
There were bandit loot.
Oh. I think that's the door.
I think that's the pub dog
Please
barking.
excuse me 1 second. I think
Yeah.
there's someone at our front door.
Okay.
Ooh.
Gina could maybe take the opportunity to catch up with Bonnie. Been trying to catch up with Bonnie for a while, Gina.
Yeah, Bonnie's Bonnie works normally the evening shift, so she's not even here.
Ugh.
Sorry. Apologies.
It was a good reminder, but yeah.
No, she's not there all of the time. That would be
Unhealthy.
mad. Yeah, unhealthy, definitely.
Is our friend the bar owner around?
Done. No, he's not. You don't know where he is, but I mean, you imagine he's probably sorting out his ear or something.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, look, it could be great to head down into the sewers to find our friend. I have to admit, I feel a lot of trepidation about this. If we do this, we should probably try and do it, I want to say subtly and carefully.
Definitely.
You know,
I'm nothing if not subtle and careful. Don't you worry about that.
Great. I've heard many things and I'm aware of what goes on down there. And I think it would be sensible if we sort of dress down a little bit, prepared, got some... I have some torches. I don't know. I might want to buy a lantern or something like that. We could be down there for a while. Make sure we have rations and just... I honestly want to say flee at the first sign of danger.
When you when you say dress down, I've got some silk, like a darker silk garb that I could adorn myself in. With that,
I working clothes.
I have like a kind of like a cravat that's like, you know, it's not as bright as the other ones. It's more, you know, it's more loungewear, like that kind of
your
thing.
working man's cravat.
Yeah, well, you know, when you have to talk with the house staff, maybe you don't fully garb in your finery. You wear, you know, like your other day wear.
Wait. So, all right, I want to backtrack. When you talk to house staff, you put different clothes on before you talk to them.
It depends if you're going to have any guests for the day. You would present yourself appropriately to the lords and the ladies that visit your home. However, you know, when you're at home, you're in your casual wear. You're only wearing your second best cravat. You're not got your finest silk on, but you're still wearing, you know, that's what you mean by dressing down, right? You're wearing tailored clothing, but maybe not.
We're
Maybe
just still
not what
staring
you would wear.
at you, like absolutely no idea, like what you're talking about.
We'll be in a sewer.
I mean, even Renner Never is just looking at you like.
I can't reverse time and stop this conversation that I never started.
I say, do you have a sewer specific cravat? Because that one would be, or a waterproof cravat.
I mean, I could certainly check.
You should have taken some of the sandals as your new sewer outfit.
Yes.
Sewer sandals doesn't sound like a great combination to me.
It doesn't.
Even as an out of towner, the term sewer sandal doesn't fill me with joy.
I think good boots, given the nature of sewers and what tends to be in them, I think good weather-resistant boots is a good start.
Sounds less fun than sewer sandals. Let's be real.
I don't know how I feel about that, Gina. I should not have begun this conversation. I should not have said anything.
I'll tell you what. I'll leave my cravat at home. How about that?
Renner says, not that I didn't have enough of this conversation, but why don't you finish your breakfast and I'll go get us some gear. And after about good 20 minutes, he returns with some basic stuff like rope. He brings back robes as well for you to wear, some sewer robes, some good boots.
Sewer robes?
Robes, you know, like just a robe to put on, you know, not to get dirty.
I think Rogan are probably looking at it like, is this for covering the tables? Is this for throwing over the rubbish on the floor, the damage?
He just chucks it over you. He also brought a shovel, just because that might be useful.
Oh.
Some lanterns, just to illuminate everything, and that's about it, really. Oh, and he got a crowbar as well because he thought
That's cool.
Yeah, that might be useful.
That actually is that's a really good idea, and I mean that as a practical person who's never stolen anything. I just think a crowbar is any tool that creates leverage is good.
We could have hit the crows with a crowbar.
That's what happens when you have a bard in the party. That's what they contribute.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the reference. Someone explain it to me.
There was no reference.
Okay.
It was just making up songs as I go.
Shall we get this over with?
The song, yeah, sure.
I think Renner says, I think we should probably hurry along because I don't think Floon has much time left.
Right, yeah, Floon. Yeah, of course, yeah.
After another short dray ride back into the dock ward, you eventually find the warehouse where you all were quite viciously attacked.
Does it look different in the day?
Yeah, it looks like it's been cordoned off. That's how it looks like.
Okay.
There's a big sign that's been nailed to one of the walls saying under City Watch investigation. So something's happening in there. You can see some guards just standing outside. But just a few roads down, you eventually find an alleyway with a sewer grate. No one's really observing you in there because it's like a sort of a back alley.
Yeah.
There's no one around. You can easily probably lift the lid and get in.
Okay.
Do we see any yellow eyes?
Yeah.
While we walk there.
No, so you've not seen any of them at all yet.
Okay.
That's good to know.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that's a thing we'll definitely all keep our eyes out for.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm guessing you're all getting into the sewer.
I mean, I guess we can use the crowbar to get the manhole cover off or the grate off, right?
Easily.
Easily, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, easily. That's not an issue.
Is there? Sorry.
Yes, go on.
Is there like steps, or do we just have to like?
You have to sort of just jump in.
Can I chuck a piece of bread or something down there?
Yeah, it's not deep.
Rogan,
Yeah, it's
Rogan
not
would
deep.
probably Rogan would just hand you like a gold piece to
I
check
put it in
the
my
distance.
pocket and chuck a bit of bread. Sweet. I've got 16 currency now. Yeah, I guess we just
Before we head down, could Rogan just like cast his eye around the area just to see if anyone's keeping their eye on us in any way? Is no one paying attention to us?
I mean, you would see anyone paying attention because, like I said, it's a back alley. There's like only one way in. You know, like
no one being sneaky or anything.
Yeah, you look around. You can give me a perception check to see if someone from like is very well at hiding and.
Wasted my only good roll on this.
Go on.
I got 20. Well, it's not a natural 20, but it's a 20.
So you notice some yellow powder just at the edge of the sewer grate.
Ooh.
That was not a waste. That was excellent observing.
Seems like we're heading in the right direction, folks.
Wait.
What is yellow powder?
Yeah. Is this sulfur? What is this? Marcia, do you know what this is?
Can I? No, I don't
Yeah, you can. I mean, you've definitely got some alchemical knowledge, so I'll give you. I guess this is an investigation check, but you probably have an advantage because you're an alchemist, so you know these sort of things.
20, not a natural 20.
This is chalk. This is yellow
Yeah, I
chalk.
say it's chalk. What
Oh,
fun!
yes.
Perhaps the children were round here drawing pretty pictures.
I'm feeling confident about us cracking this case, folks.
Let's be careful not to disturb the chalk, just to be
We've
sure.
got to the bottom of the yellow chalk mystery.
It's just chalk. It's there.
Yeah, but let's not disturb it. So it maybe is a sign for them to I don't know if it's.
I'm gonna blow the chalk away.
Oh.
I'm gonna be. If no one has lifted the sewer grate away, I'm lifting the sewer grate away at the minute, so we can, or just moving out of the way, whatever it needs doing, so we can kind of peer in and make some progress.
You lift the sewer grate and you're immediately greeted by a strong waft of sewer. There's no other way to describe the smell. It is the smell of sewer. It's a mix of excrement, damp, mold, and various mossy growths.
Smells like my mum's cooking.
Rogan, Rogan, you didn't happen to bring an extra spare cravat, did you?
Sorry, I didn't pack any additional cravats.
Pity.
Would anybody mind if I went first?
No, go ahead.
Please do. You're so brave.
Seems like your kind of place.
Rude.
Well,
as in you look well adapted.
Aris,
to handle yourself in such a situation.
I can tread carefully.
You can. You jump down easily without making too much noise. There's just a little splash and a thud as you land.
Squelch.
Squelch, yeah. It's unpleasant. What can I say, Aris? It's you've seen and smelled worse, but it doesn't make it any better. And it's dark, so you would need some sort of a light source to observe your surroundings.
Yeah, can I light a lantern?
Yes, you light the lantern, and it illuminates a round, sort of archway tunnel. Not exactly round, but like an archway tunnel, and there's a little bit of dryness towards the walls, but not much. I mean, it's not comfortable to walk on because it's like what you would call it, a brick wide, sort of step on each side. Otherwise, it's just sludge slowly trickling down in one direction. I'm not sure whether this is good news or bad news, but you do observe a yellow eye that's been drawn with chalk on one side, because the tunnel is just a long tunnel, right? So you jump down, and just on one side of the entrance is a yellow symbol, and on the other side there isn't a yellow symbol, and that yellow symbol leads downstream. So I'm not sure whether the fact that it's downstream makes it any better.
Do the eyes point in any direction, or is it like an eye looking straight ahead?
Straight ahead.
Straight ahead. Okay.
Straight ahead.
All right.
Well, there's our first eye. Shall we head downstream?
I will jump in after Iris because I think it's easy to jump in now.
Right.
Safe-ish.
So far.
You
I'll
also
kind of-
squelch.
I'll wait. I think I'll hold back until last and let everyone, whatever. A rare occasion for Rogan to actually be polite.
Renner jumps in as well.
Okay, do you want to head on in?
I don't exactly jump in. I kind of crawl in, and I'm terrified. Like I'm holding on to the ledge, of the street, right?
Yeah.
And then I realise that actually it's my feet are already touching the ground. And I'm like, oh, okay. But and then I'm like, whew, this adventure has begun already.
And I'll climb down in after everyone else.
After yeah, go on, please.
I was going to say I'll start trying to shine the lantern in the direction that we're headed.
You see a long tunnel.
Here we go, I guess. I will try and lead in not at a real pace. I want to walk carefully because I have no idea what to expect down here.
Are you good? Oh, go on. Sorry, Gina.
Before we leave, is it possible to close the cover?
Close the sewer cover.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Easy.
So Rogan
Done.
Rogan goes, all right, yeah, I'll handle that. Clink.
It's a little less light now, but I suppose that's what the rest of your journey is going to be like. So you set off. After about 5 minutes, you reach a fork in the road, and as predicted, on one side there is a symbol with a yellow eye, and on the other side there isn't.
Well, I guess we go down the one with the eye.
And so you continue, and after about 4 or 5 of these, you slightly lost count.
Can I just make sure I've... I was going to say that. Can I make sure I've tracked that? Like,
okay.
We've gone left, we've gone right at the fork, we've gone whatever.
Yep,
right?
yep.
Sure
you have a detailed... sort of guide as to...
What's Renner been doing this whole time?
Following you.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's got any anecdotes? He's got anything useful for him to say? Any thought? Does he have any? Is he chimed in at any point, or is he just keeping to himself?
He says, "Once, I got so drunk, I fell into one of these sewers. I couldn't get rid of the stench for 3 days. Ugh."
Great.
I think we should keep the small talk. Very small talk. While we are following yellow signs.
You're worried about making noise, is that?
Yes.
Yeah, so you wouldn't have been
That's
singing this
reasonable.
whole time.
No, I would not be
Oh.
singing. I'm sorry.
Oh.
So you're...
I mean, during this whole time, Rogan is wearing chainmail, so it's just become like, chunk, 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 like behind you all. Yeah, I'll be quiet. Yeah, of course. Chief.
So I like that's better than me singing a loud song, which will echo through.
That's true.
As well.
That's true.
Okay, so you're mostly staying quiet and trudging along. After about a good 15 minutes, you eventually see what appears to be a grapefruit hovering in the air. It's greenish, more like a pomelo maybe. And you realize that grapefruit is there far too late, because it just dawns on you, wait a minute, there's a grapefruit hovering in the air. And Renner...
Sorry, everyone. Is this normal in your cities? You have flying grapefruits. We don't really have them where I'm from. Is this
As Rogan says this...
usual?
As Rogan says this, the grapefruit hovering in the air turns around to reveal that it is composed mostly of a giant eye in the middle of it, and also some like other eye stalks.
Oh dear.
Emerge from the top, and it very, very speedily just darts towards you through the air.
That's a great thing.
I would say it's time for some grape initiative.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
That'd be a 14 for Rogan.
Rogan on
Yes, 7
14.
for Aris.
That's a rare slow roll for Aris on the initiative.
Aris.
To be fair, like in
7.
the first couple of sessions, I got some good rolls, and I've been...
You weren't hiding under a table this time, or like prepared. I guess you were leading the way, so you weren't ready.
Rogan, can you give me
Yeah,
a second roll, please?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's a 15 this time.
Okay. Sorry, just a die roll, just a D20 die roll.
Okay, it's a 14.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And then Marche.
15.
And Gina.
13.
Right, Marche.
Oh.
You get to react to this grapefruit with a giant eye inside of it, just zooming towards you. What would you like to do?
I would like to. So it's floating in the air, right? It's floating in the
yeah,
air.
it's floating in the air, darting towards you. It's grapefruit big.
I would know what this is, right? Because
Give me some sort of a knowledge check. I think this is. Yeah, you can give me a knowledge check.
I assume I'm doing this before. I'm thinking about what it is, like before it actually is, flying at my face.
Okay, knowledge is once again not part of 5th edition. Give me a Arcana, I guess.
Arcana.
Yeah, Arcana check.
9.
9. You have no idea what
No,
this
alright,
is. This
okay.
is a flying grapefruit
Okay.
with a 9 inside of it.
It's amazing. Okay, I would like to send a firebolt towards it.
Okay.
I think.
Oh wow! Just
Well, I mean,
So
it's
chucking-
coming at my
chucking one of
face,
your
right?
potions,
It
yeah?
doesn't look friendly.
No,
doesn't
it
look
does
like
not.
it's
It
coming
does
over
not.
to
Yeah.
lick my face, does it? It looks
It's-
like it's coming over to bite me or whatever.
Oh yeah. It
Yeah.
looks vile and
I mean, it lives. Yeah.
you know its eyes seeping like various pus
I
and
mean, it lives
you know.
in the sewer.
Oh.
It's not
It lives
gonna
in
be
the sewers.
pleasant,
Yeah.
is it?
It's not good. Whatever this thing is, it's not good. It's not coming to
Is it
kiss
making
you.
any noise?
No, it's just sort of just zooming through the air.
I mean,
It
grapefruits
makes no
don't
noise.
occasionally make noise.
Yeah.
But...
Bit squelchy, maybe.
No, it's making no noise whatsoever.
Okay, so yeah, I would like to try and firebolt it.
Go for it.
Oh, I get +5. Oh, that's good. 17, 18, 19, 20. 22.
Versus armor class.
Yeah,
That's a hit.
yeah. It was a good roll.
Yeah. So the potion just go on.
I rolled, I get 7 damage.
7 fire damage.
7 fire damage.
Fantastic. Okay, so yeah, you just chuck a potion of fire at it, and it hits square in the face, and now it's ablaze, and it's a flying grapefruit set on fire. It's probably not good for it, but it's a heck of a lot more intimidating all of a sudden.
Nice.
Um,
Nice. Cool.
Next up, Rogan. It's about this flying grapefruit of fire is about to hit your face. What would you like to do?
I'd like to punch it straight out the air.
Okay, go for it.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
That was a 7.
Versus armor class. No, it just flies past you. It just you swing at it and it flies past you. So you know, like it's not even Anyway, as it flies past you, it just zooms past all of you and just stops behind
Is it
you.
still on fire?
It's still on fire.
Okay. Just checking.
Stops behind you, and suddenly its eye stalks start shooting rays at you. So first, let's determine.
Like rainbows, right?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
It's a sewer disco. Yeah, it's like a sewer disco.
Okay. Elaine,
Yeah.
would you give me a dexterity saving throw, please?
Which means I. So I add my dex.
Yeah. 5. Okay. So, Elaine, you have been subjected to what is effectively just like this ray that hit you right square in the forehead. And you know, like when you drink a milkshake and you get like a
I've never
a brain
had that,
freeze.
but I've heard
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Yeah, it's like that, but 10 times worse.
Cool.
It's incredibly painful, and the frost reverberates through your entire body. You don't feel great. You feel like you need a
can
good
tell,
hug.
yeah.
You take
A good hug, but not from it.
He said
No.
a good hug.
a good hug, maybe somewhere near a fireplace, a blanket, a
I'm
radiator,
near
a water bottle.
fireplace, but it's not the fireplace I want right now.
No, Elaine, you take 10 cold damage.
Oh, I'm dead.
Ooh,
There we go.
it's awful.
That is awful. Yes.
Wow.
Well, you're not dead.
Are you rolling great again?
You're
or-
unconscious.
I'm unconscious. Yeah, no, I'm dead. Sorry.
I'm not going to say
Well,
whether
I
that was a
mean-
good or a bad roll.
I probably asked for that, didn't I?
And
fair.
then there's another one that's targeting Rogan because Rogan swung an axe at it.
I was merely waving my arms around at the breeze.
Yeah, what it
I
does.
was just only stretching.
Yeah, what it does, it basically blasts you like. You feel like you're standing. You swung and you did the swing, and then suddenly you're going whoa as you're being pushed past your compatriots all the way back to where this little grapefruit came from. Like it pushes you behind. Forward forward as to where you were going, right? But behind
So-
itself.
Whoa! Like that.
Yeah, like that. So you pushed about 30 feet away, and then
Wow.
and then this grapefruit also like just moves a little bit, like even further after it's done its like
Okay.
pew pew pew
So it's
race. It flies away even further back to where you came from. So just a little bit harder to reach. After
Yeah,
that, we have Gina's turn.
So it's pretty far away.
It is right now, I would say.
Very
Just-
far away from me. With my whoa down the corridor.
Actually, you know what? It's not. It moved a little bit further back, but it's sort of hovering over Renner right now, who was the last person in the line.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Was
Yeah.
Renner the last person, though? Were we marching in the way we stepped down, or?
He was behind all of you.
I mean, I was kind of like last, but then I tried to punch it, and I got blown down the corridor.
Yeah, he's just hovering over Renner. Oh yeah, and Renner's initiative is not good.
Well,
Well, is it close enough for me to go towards it? Because my speed is 25.
Yes. You could definitely run up to it.
Because I've got a... It's not an apple to peel, or I don't know if it's a saying. I am just making up, but I want to slice it with my rapier.
Go for it.
Don't
you
like the
just-
idea of peeling a giant
I
eye.
know, right?
So,
I think you just invented a cool
Yeah.
not a nice visual image.
fighting phrase.
14.
14 versus armor class. Your rapier slices into it. Let's see how
Yes.
badly.
Let's see.
Segment that grapefruit.
That's 6 points of damage.
Hey, you sliced the grapefruit in half.
Yay!
That's it. It's an eyeball slice in half.
Wow.
Is it still floating, or is it now?
No, it just drops to the floor and just thuds into the excrement and
God, that was well
sludge.
timed.
Yeah.
It probably doesn't taste like grapefruit.
I would imagine
No.
it doesn't. It doesn't look. It only looked like a grapefruit from a distance.
I see.
I would advise no one tries eating it.
Okay.
That's my top tip.
I don't want to make an orange you glad. I sliced it. A joke. Which
Rogan's too far
still-
away to hear that
Yeah.
horrendous pun.
Can I immediately rush over to Marche
You can absolutely. Yeah.
and sort of make an assessment and see if I need to bandage any wounds or anything like that? Because I'm aware that one of my colleagues has just sort of fallen down in the sewer, and I've got the one single bouncing light source as well. That's probably
You could try and rouse her by mentioning sandals of some kind that you can see down the way that need selling. Right. Might bring her
I
back to
hear
life.
you say that, like about I'm gonna go over to my colleague, and I'm like,
You're unconscious.
oh, am I?
Yeah.
I'm not like anything then. But I know
Oh.
I can have an eyeball open. No.
You're
Am I
unconscious.
literally unconscious?
You're
All right,
unconscious.
Well, fine.
Yeah.
All right. Even in the smell.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Never mind then. I'm unconscious.
Can I just apply some sort of immediate like medical attention? or
Yeah. You
bandaging
can
or
make a
something like
medicine.
that?
You can make a medicine check. Yeah.
It's not my forte. That's not bad though. That's 19.
That's 19. Good. You easily stabilize Marche, and yeah. In after a couple of minutes, you come to back alive with 1 hit point to your name.
So, does that count as success on the death save? No,
Well,
like,
because
as
you were out of
a-
combat, you never got to your initiative. You didn't need to roll it. Aris could take his turn afterwards, so
Right.
you don't even need to make a death save. You are fine.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. So I'm just trying to work out how.
Yeah.
I'm-
No, because
That's
Aris still didn't have his
fine.
go,
Yeah.
and
Cool.
he could have.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So,
How many spell slots do you have, Marche?
2.
Okay.
But my firebolt is a cantrip, so it doesn't count as a spell slot. It's just
No,
like
because we
healing and
both
stuff.
have the healings. So I
Yeah.
was gonna offer to heal you, but maybe
It says, have you not got any potions tucked away anywhere?
Me?
Yeah, that's your your forte. Have you got any?
Yeah, but I'm not going to drink them myself.
Yeah, you're not a fool.
No, I'm not. I am no fool. I know how this goes.
Rogan got like blasted down the corridor a little ways. Was there anything anything else like further? Because I'm a little bit ahead of the rest of the group. He's taken a little opportunity to look around. He's seen that the grapefruit's been cut in half. Is there anything where he is, like that little bit further down the way? Any immediate danger?
No, you're still in a corridor, and there just seemed to be a random grapefruit in the middle of the sewer, and
this is the sort of thing that I'm worried about down here.
Yeah, something that happens sometimes. You encounter grapefruits, they come at you with freeze rays from their eyeballs,
or just generally whatever it is. From what I know of the sewers, there could be anything and everything in here, including multiple other groups of bandits and creatures.
Like a murderous banana, or an evil kiwi.
You say that. I mean, at this point, I kind of feel like, yeah, maybe.
A brutal banana.
Oh, no.
Anywho, Renner says, I feel like after this sudden encounter, we should maybe establish some sort of a sensible marching order where the bigger, bulkier of us are in front. He points at Rogan.
I immediately jumped to the front and then realised what he meant and just moved backwards.
And some of the squishier ones are maybe at the back. He motions towards you.
I see.
Rogan's kind of looking at himself a little bit, going I wouldn't necessarily call myself bulky per se. More I consider myself in quite good shape. I was the fastest in my school sprint team. I know that was a while ago, but
I think this is what our friend means: is the more martial people.
With more stature and presence. Oh no, I see. Yes.
Absolutely. And I have the advantage that I have a light, so that in a way is something.
Yes. Yes. So what's your marching order? Give me your marching order.
I believe I'll take the lead as the most capable among us.
And Renner says, I'll go next.
One of you two should take the lantern then.
Renner says, I'll take the lantern.
I'd rather not carry. I'd rather kind of carry anything for anyone. I'll let someone else take that job.
Of course. If nobody minds, I'll light another lantern so we just have a second source of illumination, just in case anything falls in the water and goes out. The water.
Eris, are you going next? Then Marche and I will close off so Marche doesn't get hit in the back and falls down again.
I think that's a good idea. Are you comfortable with that?
Me?
I think that's a good idea. Are you both comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Also, you have time to take a little rest. So would you like to spend your hit die to heal, or
my hit die?
Yeah, so you have a hit die and you can roll it and add your Constitution modifier, I believe, once per short rest to refresh some hit points, so you're not on one.
I'd kind of turn to Renner and go, so Renner, what are the local parties like about this? Where where regals such as myself might mix with people of their social stature.
Renner?
Oh, I'm sorry if you've been distracted by the evil grapefruit that was trying to murder us. Maybe this isn't quite the time.
Yeah, Renner seems to be lost deep in thought, pondering something unbeknownst to you. Elena,
it was a souring.
May I take this? I'm not sure who twiddled my moustache and brought me to life, but I want to thank whomsoever it was that did that. I'm indebted to you.
It's a team collaboration. We're all looking out for one another, really.
Oh, thank you.
No, it's true.
Thank you. You're more than just colleagues to me. You know that. You're friends.
Friends.
Rogan, you were asking about social climbing.
Yeah, no, I just thought, someone of my stature should really get to know people more of my social. No, I mean no offense to all of you. Of course, you're obviously all fine people. It's
yeah.
Elaine. Sorry. So the artificer hit die is 1d8, and you get to add your Constitution modifier.
Oh, cool. Thank you. I forgot. Oh, 7 plus 2 is 9. Oh, I'm on full health.
Nice.
Hurrah! 10.
Hooray.
Seat. Okay, sorry for that interruption.
That's
we're
perfectly.
still on Rogan.
It's perfectly fine.
So, Rogan is upset that he has to hang out with plebs, I think.
Oh.
He just
While
said.
slopping through sewers in his chainmail, going slop slop, chink chink, clonk clonk clonk.
not even got a cravat on. It's not really what I had in mind.
I mean, you could have worn your sewer cravat. I told you to do that.
My sewer cravat.
Oops.
I think I've got a good marching order for you, and I say after some sit down, a little bit of a sit down, you're ready to march again. You definitely feel like you.
I didn't sit down.
No, you didn't sit down.
No.
You just stood there, frozen for a little bit, like.
Yeah, I'm not sitting down in this. Honestly. Like that seems worse. That seems like I would take more.
Just waited for the excrement to warm up your feet and the warmth to travel upwards towards your body. Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Can I just grab what is left of the eyeball?
Oh, that's not disgusting at all, Marche. That's a perfectly fine and normal thing to do.
Can I take out a little vial?
Yeah.
And then just like scoop some of it in.
You can.
Cool.
You can.
Just squidge some eyeball
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
the tube.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah. Put a
I
little
mean,
cork
that
on
is
it.
kind of Marche's thing, isn't it? A certain amount of alchemy and experimenting and.
Absolutely. That definitely falls in with what you've learned about him so far. That he will pick up disgusting things, all things in poor taste, and then will try and sell them to you.
Please don't sell them as eye drops.
Well, you say that, but perhaps an eye can save an eye.
An eye for an eye?
And I believe that's where the phrase came from in the first place. I mean, you don't. I mean, yes, no, it did actually. Yes. What am I saying? Yes, it did. An eye for an eye. I mean, forget that it has excrement all over it.
I think Rogan's kind of nodding along, like it certainly sounds like a perfectly reasonable thing. It's like got total faith in everything that Marche's saying.
Rogan,
in
Rogan,
fairness, like
perhaps you'd like some eye drops.
I'm
How are your eyes?
I'm all right at the minute, thanks.
Oh, okay.
I'll come back to you on that.
Okay.
I don't feel like we can criticize Marche all that much as someone who, like, quite regularly has set our opponents on fire. Like, that is a squad asset.
I mean, that's
Wasn't this
MO.
the first time?
No, that was the other time when the oil went onto.
Oh, right.
I think it was one of those horrible big fly things.
Yeah, I think you missed.
Yeah. Oh, I did.
So
Yeah, I think she
we
was.
were heading to try and rescue Balloon, I think.
Yes, you were. Okay, after a march of about another 5 minutes. So I take it that you've all been fairly cautious and careful and observant, because that seems to be how you've been proceeding so far. So I will definitely let you make a stealth check, each of you, and I will count. If half of you succeed, I will count that as a success for a group check. And in fact,
Right.
I will roll for Renner as well.
Paul is looking happy.
I'm a stealthy boy. That's
You are
my,
a stealthy boy. Yeah, that's your thing.
it is my thing.
I roll for stealth with disadvantage because I'm wearing chainmail. I mean, if anything, even without the chainmail, Rogan is not a sly individual. But
he
I
has
basically
other
rolled the same.
talents.
I rolled the same number twice, so I rolled a 7 and an 8, which gives me an 8 on the old stealth front.
Okay.
Not great.
You've got an 8. Marche?
10.
10.
Yeah.
Gina?
It's not great.
I've got a 13.
Aris?
21.
Okay, so you have Rogan in front of you, which obviously doesn't help, right? But the rest of you have enough wherewithal to kind of just watch him enough to kind of go, no, don't go there, don't step on that. If you could just move to and if maybe don't lift that thing, definitely stop yelling. So there's a lot of that going on, and eventually...
How is Rogan reacting to being told off all the time?
I think he probably, in his mind, that's kind of your job to advise him. So he kind of views it as, of course you'd be giving me advice because, like, I mean, you're not technically servile. You he's just used to people doing things for him. He doesn't do things on his own. He always has people around him helping him. That's normal. It's normal to have people telling him, what to do and when, and in a helpful way, whilst he considers himself to be, front and center.
Yeah. So with enough warning, you notice that in the distance there is a sort of an expansion to the tunnel, and it's sort of circular, if that makes sense, or you deem it to be circular because you can't quite see further through it, because in the middle there's like a circular pillar as well. So it expands onto a circle, and there's a circular pillar, and you can sort of tell that the distance is branching off, and you can see that well because there's like sconces with torches lit, that are there. And if you could give me,
pillar, sorry,
around the pillar.
Yeah.
If you could give me a perception check as well.
All of us.
Yeah, all of you. Please.
Everyone.
Yeah, everyone, please.
9.
Nuts.
Got a 16 on the old perception.
Nice.
There.
Gina has a 10.
Paul, what have you got?
9.
9.
Right.
Okay. Well, Aris, you're the only one who spots this, but
You don't know that. You don't know.
Sorry,
what
not
I rolled.
Aris. Rogan.
You don't know what I
I'm
rolled
at the
yet.
front. I
might
mean,
have rolled
I've got the
amazing.
clearest view.
I've seen your dice roll, Elaine.
I was busy inspecting.
But for the
Inspecting
audience,
this eyeball goo.
but for the audience, what was the dice roll?
It was a 6.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe didn't see anything then.
No.
Yeah. Rogan, you're the only one who spots this, and you see an arrow slit in one of the walls.
That's all I had to say. So everyone, I think there might be some traps up ahead.
Renner goes, shh.
I'm sorry, everyone. I think there might be some traps up ahead. Was that
All
quiet?
right.
I don't think that was quiet.
Maybe I should advance in front of
Aris,
everyone.
do you wanna go check it out?
Yeah, I would very much like to.
Yeah.
My
Paul,
tippest of toes.
I mean, can you give me another stealth check? Just because this is like more active. I took like a group stealth check, but yeah, if you're advancing ahead.
19.
19's pretty good, right? You are light as a feather. There's no schlop at all. There's just tip, 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 tip.
Like a drip.
Yeah, like a little drip.
Yeah.
No one's even noticing it. So you approach what seems to be like I described, like a circular sort of circular little. It's not even like so much a room, but there is a circular pillar in the middle. And the pathway in the circle branches off to the left and the right, but also just a little bit off on that path to the left. On the other side, like I described the wall being like just about a brick wide, right? Now there is about a 20-foot sort of gap where the brick isn't like. Where the elevation isn't a brick wide, it's more like 5 feet wide, And there's also a door that you can see. And more importantly, you see the arrow slit in the distance that's off to the right, and another one just behind you that's off to the left. So there's 2 arrow slits, and as you peer in both of them, you notice in each of them, strangely, an identical creature who is asleep, and that creature can only be described by one word, and that word is goblin.
The door that I see, is it like a wooden door or a cast iron door?
It's just a wooden door, really. It doesn't seem to have, like, you can even see that it's ever so slightly ajar, not enough for you to peer through, but you can see that it's not bolted or anything like that.
Could we somehow stuff up the? Oh, I don't know. I'm asking you this, Efka.
Yeah.
None of us, the rest of us, see these arrow slits.
No,
right?
none of you see it, and this is just your brief investigation, Aris. If if you wanted to investigate more, you rolled pretty good stealth, but there's still some peril behind, like, peering around into various things and lifting rocks, and if that makes sense, this is like basic observation.
If I just pause for a moment where I am and try and listen, do I hear anything more, or do any noises stand out to me?
Make a perception check.
14. That's quite good.
You hear the distinct and semi-evident sound of snoring, but yeah, no, you don't really spot anything else.
I don't want to hang around here too long, so I'll try and very quietly move back to the rest of the group.
What have you what have you found?
I'll begin describing. I'll say, look, there seems to be up ahead. There is a door, slightly ajar, a wooden door in the wall, and I'm seeing a couple of arrow slits, which I assume are where sentries are posted, behind which are goblins sleeping right now. And I assume this means they haven't heard us coming. I have no idea who they are or what they're doing here. Renard, do you know what you would why these people would be down here, or who they are?
Well, I guess they're... I think we found a bandit hideout. I don't know if it's the bandit hideout we're looking for, but so far the signs have led us here, so...
I guess it could be. I didn't expect to find goblins in the sewer. Well, so the fact is no one seems to know that we're here yet, so if we advance and don't make any noise, that's great, but I don't know if a group of 5 of us can do that.
We've been pretty quiet so far. I think we could sneak past a sleeping goblin.
Well, the slits are... I'll sort of point up the tunnel and go, the slits are there, and the door is here, and I can only guess there's more inside. So we should be ready.
Okay.
Well, do you want to lead the way to the door?
I do. I'm gonna turn.
Yeah, everyone is terrified.
Right. Can
I'm
we
gonna turn off my lantern and draw my sword.
Okay.
Can we block the slits?
I think Rogan's
Yeah, I
becoming
was going to ask that.
a little bit aware he has no ability to be quiet, and this is requiring a quiet. Even his whispers like the same volume level as his normal speaking voice, so it's kind of becoming rarely kind of quiet for him.
I know, but like, in reality, I don't want to push you too far into like, oh no, we must be super careful, because you've already rolled checks and passed and.
How short are goblins? How tall?
Well, I think about 4 foot or something like that, maybe 3.5 feet.
Oh,
yeah.
Because it matters.
Okay.
So because say I'm 5 feet then.
Yeah.
Because that's a normal human height.
Sorry, there's some background to this. I'm going to interrupt with some out of character stuff.
Okay.
But Elaine is very upset since she once read in one of the player's handbooks,
4th edition,
that a normal human height is between 5'6".
No, 5 feet.
It was,
I think.
It was
something.
6.
Was
it was definitely 6. And
right,
then
well.
6 feet whatever, right? And she was like, how am I not a normal human in Dungeons and Dragons?
That's not fair.
Yeah, that's a little, yeah.
It's a little narrow window. Because what I would like to do well, I'm going to ask, I want to see if mechanically I can do this first, and then I will ask the group. So just in case you think this is a terrible idea, which is fine. Mm-hmm. So I have the spell that lets me disguise myself.
Okay.
So would I? But it's only a foot taller or shorter.
Right. Okay. Well, you would look like a tall goblin.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
So, chaps, I'm whispering. Chaps, I have an idea. Perhaps, rather than trying, because I can see on our faces that we're all fairly terrified of everything.
Oh, I'm fairly sure I've never been scared a day in my life. I'm a natural-born warrior.
Yes, well, yes, you accepted, of course. Anyway, perhaps what I could do, I have this wonderful spell which does work, I promise you, it does work, that I could, it's nothing to do with the eyeball goo, I can pretend to be a goblin, just for a little bit, and I could perhaps say to them, there's something that away.
So just to be clear, you're going to wake up the sleeping sentry.
Yes.
To send them. Just so I'm following your train of thought.
Yes.
You're going to rouse the sleeping guards.
Yes.
Convince them that you're part of their group as a strange goblin they've never seen.
No.
And talk them into going a different direction.
I mean, yes.
I think it's a great plan. I think you should. It sounds perfect to me. You should go ahead with that.
Have you pretended to be a goblin before?
Of course I have. I mean,
can I do an insight on that?
Can I make if Emma's doing an insight? Can I? Then
you can make a deception check and oppose the. You can.
Absolutely. In case that wasn't clear, by the way, Rogan talked that through and is fully on board with that plan. There was no sarcasm there. Rogan just wanted to be clear, and he's like, "That sounds like a great plan."
I rolled an 11.
Okay.
I rolled insight 16.
Right. Well, I think you know that Marche is full of poo.
Of course, I've been a goblin before. Of course, yes. Well, in fact, once in a school play, I was a goblin.
There's note.
So anyway, long story short, I'm excellent at being the goblin. I take a second to get into the character, the mood, the everything, the nature of the goblin, and then I become the goblin.
Renner says, "How did I know that you were going to say, in fact, and then follow it up with something even more ludicrous and preposterous?"
Well, I say it. It's that's your opinion. I'm not ludicrous or preposterous. Any hoot. Eris, Gina.
I'm against.
What say? Oh.
No.
Oh.
I feel like Gina has a good point when she says goblin that they have never seen before. But Marche's ability to become something else still could be an advantage now or in future. I don't know how we're gonna get past as a group of 5 making the noise that we do without something happening.
Precisely. That was my thinking. Yes. So I was worried that Rogan would clankety clank.
Yeah.
Or Gina, or in fact, Gina would burst into song like she is wont to do ever so often.
I've been pretty. I know my moment. I know when it's my moment to shine. So not right now.
The sleeping
Mache
goblin
has a
audience
point.
is maybe not your ideal audience.
Yeah. I do have to ask as a GM, how long are you going to be whispering to each other?
Probably this amount of time.
So very
Yeah.
good point.
Hours, maybe.
Okay, folks. Yes or no? Do we creep or do I embody the goblin?
What if you embodied one of the Kenku that we saw earlier that they're friends with?
Oh,
Are
they
they friends though? Did you see any yellow eyes in the room?
They had the patches on, right? Is that correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, on their
No,
armor.
not the Kenku, but the goblins I meant.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry, you didn't spot any of that.
Oh,
Oh, this could be.
So it could be another hideout, and the Kenku could be their enemies, and then we're.
That's true. We don't know if all these bandits are all buddies.
oh, good.
Feel like
grief.
whatever we do, we should do it soon, just in case they wake up anyway.
Yeah, that's fair. My proposition is Kenku disguise and introducing us as colleagues or something. Or my backup plan is
We're not
very
colleagues.
quiet.
We're captured, and we need to be brought.
How about
others.
Or that.
we don't wake them up, but you look like you still make the transformation. So if they do wake up, you can go over and speak to them, if required. I know personally, there's nothing I like less than being woken up from a slumber, and I feel like even if it's a friend, I may take that badly.
I'll remember that.
I just want to let you know, just as a small point. I look like them, but it doesn't mean that I'm as smart as them. So if they start quizzing me on things, I don't necessarily know the answer.
Are you saying you're not as smart as a goblin? I'm sorry, I'm not following what you're saying here.
I think Marche's saying that he won't have the same, knowledge.
Indeed, that one. Yes.
How about we synthesize these ideas? If we try to be quiet, but Gina's idea that we're all captured by the Kenku could be incorporated, and we'll.
Plan B.
Do I get to like lead you and tie you in handcuffs and whatnot?
We don't have time for this.
Oh, okay. Well, pretend. Get in the zone. Pretend. Okay. So can I? I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Like I don't think I need to roll for this. I don't.
No.
I can just shapeshift. It lasts
Describe.
an hour.
Yeah, describe
right?
how
Just
you
so you know.
how you apply the spell.
So I don't think it specifically says anything.
No,
it
but
doesn't.
it's your
so,
decision.
Yeah, okay. So I just wanted to check that I wasn't going way.
No,
off
you
topic
interpret it
there.
how you like.
So what I do is I raise my cloak. I say to everyone, "Look away! I can't spoil the magic for you. Please avert your gaze, please." And then I kind of bring over my cloak. Couldn't think of the word. Cloak, and I mumble some magic words, which I've clearly just made up. I'm literally making up on the spot. Like, oh, the sewers and the sewers and the sewers. Because it's the thing that I can see.
Yeah.
That's the magic word. And then I shrink slightly, and feathers start growing. They don't start. I can tell that that's not the case, right?
Yeah.
I don't feel anything, but visually, it looks like feathers are growing from me.
Okay.
And my mouth and nose, grows into a beak.
Fantastic.
And my clothing becomes a lot more raggedy than. Well, I mean, it's covered in slime. Right?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean, like the underneath the slime, it becomes a lot more kind of raggedy. And that's me now. But I say to everyone, fear not. I know this is I can talk as me, right?
Yeah.
Fear not. It's
The
me.
goblins are still asleep, by the way.
It
so
is me.
you
It is I, Marche Docum. I know I don't look like Marche Docum, but it is I.
Helene, I would like to give you inspiration for fantastic role playing of your
Thanks.
character.
I don't quite
Shall
know what
we,
that is, but anyway.
Shall we
there
try
go.
and continue and sneak past them, but if needs be, take advantage of this incredible disguise?
Incredible.
Okay. I mean, to all of you, she looks exactly like one of the Kenkus that you've been fighting and that have nearly killed you. So, in some ways, somewhat unsettling and intimidating, but in other ways, magnificent and uncanny. You make your way down the corridor as quietly as you can, and eventually you reach the door that Aris mentioned. As you peer through it, you see a corridor snaking a little bit towards the right, towards the direction of the arrow slit, and just as you turn a little bit in that corridor, there's another door, very similar to the one you've noticed before. It's also slightly ajar. As you push that door open, the corridor splits into two directions. There is a room to the left of you, and to the right, the corridor leads to the direction of the arrow slit.
So I figure what we either do here at this point is we try and find some way to deal with the sentries now while they're still asleep, like tie them up or something, or we just keep going as quietly as possible.
Do note that the other arrow slit was on, like, as you were, like, in the main sewer corridor, right? It was on the other side of the wall completely. They were, like, 180 degrees opposite to each other. So whatever door you walked through, one of those goblins is going to be near you. The other one is probably somewhere completely far away. Yeah? Who knows? Yeah.
Maybe we should just proceed
I
carefully and
think.
quietly. Okay.
Okay, so do you go left towards a room of some sort, or right
I would
towards the
definitely
arrows?
like to quietly peep around the corner into the room.
Okay, well, you peep into what appears an empty room with no other exit. And when I say empty, there's no people in it. There's some stuff in it, but it's mostly like really, really, really rusty weapons that have been chipped or broken. And
Is this room nicer than the rest of the sewers? Is it like a
so you're no longer in sludge,
Right.
right? These are some sort of tunnels that have been dug out and reinforced with either wooden beams or like stone walls. You know, it's structurally a lot more sound, and it still smells like you know, but you're not trudging in sludge, if that makes sense. And this is now illuminated. You don't need your lanterns anymore. This place has some lighting, and you know, you can see pretty well. There's a torch every so often.
What was in that? So in one direction.
So yes, yeah.
Aris has just looked. It was a good as an empty room. And
Well, yeah, like there's some crap. There's some like broken down armor and you know, rusty weapons, and it just looks like where probably they chuck off their like rusty gear or whatever. You know,
possible place to hide, maybe.
Maybe, who knows? Yeah. And if you peer into the other room, you notice to the right of you, you notice the sleeping goblin sitting by the arrow slit. He has like a little wooden three-legged chair, like a really, really low chair. And he's sort of just kipping away on that. He's armed with a dagger, and he has a short bow that he's sort of holding in his hand, but because he's asleep, it's kind of like he's, you know, sort of slipping away very, very slowly, and he has a quiver of arrows slung on his back.
I'll just make sort of quieting motions to other people as I look around. Are we tracking sewage behind us as we come in here, like sewery type footprints?
You are, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
I mean, we're probably not the first people who did that, so maybe that's not a big deal. I don't know.
Yeah, no, the floor isn't exactly, I don't think anyone, has... Spring cleaning hasn't happened in a while. And the floor looks mucky enough that it probably doesn't matter. It's worth noting that as you peer into the goblin room, you notice the goblin sleeping, like off towards the side where the arrow slit is, but the room then continues, the corridor then continues further upwards. There's like these little stairs, and
Is that past the goblin? Sorry, like
yeah, it's past the
room?
goblin room, because like the room is
Okay.
like if you imagine the corridor leading directly, the room is to the side of it just opens up into the side, and there's an arrow slit, and it's just mostly an empty room with an arrow slit pointing into the sewers where you came from. And yeah, and then it leads further up the stairs, and you can see that it snakes off to the right, but you're not entirely like you can't see what's past that.
Shall we continue?
Quietly, yeah.
Quietly as possible.
Okay. So you are just walking past this goblin, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No one wants to steal his bow or
Please,
take his dagger.
please, all of you, give me a stealth check.
Natural 20.
I also rolled a natural 20. What?
Okay, Elaine.
I also rolled a natural 20.
What?
What about the stealth boy?
Yeah, what about the stealth boy?
I got 15, which like I feel is quite good. I feel like quite good.
That's amazing.
But Ross,
What
you
up?
needed to roll with disadvantage, right?
Oh shit.
Yeah, but
I'm
even
sorry.
No,
so,
that's a very valid point, which I
Okay.
completely forgot.
it's still cool though.
Yeah.
Let me just check. I ended up with 13.
Okay.
A real.
Bad, that's not bad.
What about Renner? Renner.
He's good. He's sneaky as a mouse. Okay. So congratulations, you have successfully sneaked past the goblin.
Ooh, yeah.
Without alerting probably the weakest enemy in this entire bandit camp.
We certainly thought about it a lot.
Yes, you have.
We did.
It's good.
didn't we?
You immediately threw a fireball at a grapefruit eye, but the sleeping goblin, that was like a whole.
Look, that was
whole
what was
thing.
necessary for the moment. Marche made the right decision in that.
Yeah.
Rogan was 100% behind it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was impressive, but sadly, that's where tonight's adventure ends.
Oh.
We will pick up once again in a week's time on Saturday, 8 p.m. UK time, and if I remember correctly, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Don't, Africa, just.
And 11 Pacific. I'm not
We'll
sure.
put it on
You could,
the- on the
you could,
Twitter.
yeah. Well.
It's on the thing. People can see it. It's literally like on the stream as they're watching it right now. The times are there.
Oh,
8
yeah.
p.m.
Yeah.
I could just say it's now, but 2 hours earlier.
Yes, it's now, but 2 hours earlier. Thank you very much for watching, whether you watched it live on Twitch or on YouTube, and we will see what happens again in a week's time. Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.